My name is Brian Newman. I'm a senior at SF State. I am 24 years old and I'm from Berlin, Germany.
My name is Sadie Gribben. I'm a print and online journalism major at SF State, and I will be graduating next winter.
My name is Lizzie Cotterell. I'm 26 years old. I live in Oakland, and I bartend and I'm a student for journalism.
Why did I study journalism? Good question. I don't really know actually. Wanted to do sports, played a little bit of college basketball at community college, and then I was like, well, what can I do to stay with basketball? Because let's be real, I sucked. So I was like, yeah, journalism maybe, I was like writing. So I was in it for sports journalism, but then after my first class here, news writing, I was like, man, I can write about like a lot more interesting things. No pun at sports writers, y'all are great, but...
When I was in community college, I accidentally walked into, I thought it was an English course, but it turned out it was the newspaper at my community college, and I was going to leave, but then the advisor said, oh, that's fine, girls don't do well in journalism anyway. So that was my, okay, fuck you too, and so I stayed. And then I ended up being the editor of that newspaper and won some scholarships for it, and then transferred here to SF State.
I remember learning about journalism and the whole purpose of it in a poli-sci class, and that it was a checks and balance by the people for the people, and I've always liked that idea behind it. And then once I started pursuing the degree, I realized that I was constantly surrounded by like-minded people and people that were engaged in current events, and that I really liked being around that kind of environment.
I definitely think it's going to shift more to like this digital, kind of how we have Vox News now, and kind of how like Esquire and GQ are kind of like formatting their websites. It's kind of like this daily, like fun kind of articles, then you have some serious stuff. I think it's going to be, let's say a lot of journalism students will probably go into that. Newspaper, I don't think it will die down. I don't think it will die down because, let's be real, most of those, like I said, Esquire, GQ, all these other places still get the news from those newspapers, right? Those journalists still do like the dirty work, so to say.
I don't think print's ever going to go away. I think print is a very elitist thing, and the larger papers, like the Chronicle, are always going to have print because they're always going to be backed by money. But I think that right now podcasts are really big, and I think they're going to continue to grow, and I feel like that's going to merge more into radio. I really think podcasts is the way to go because people are always on their phones, but we don't always have time to watch, but we have time to listen.
So I think the dynamic of journalism is headed into, is just going to be it's like a rebirth of it. And I think it's going to be more technology surrounded by it. It's not going to be print. I do believe in magazines staying in print longer than newspapers, because I think there's some aspects like that will stick around. I just hope that it's consistent, and that I think what we miss now is that people used to, because there was a newspaper that was printed every day, and it was kind of this routine and this relationship you had in the morning or on your commute or whatever you're reading, and you're staying involved. I feel like because that's not around, people don't stay involved all the time, just when they need to. And I think that's like where we're at right now, and that we have lost that like connection to like our audiences. And I'd like to see that be regained. I think it's just interesting. What saddens me, I mean, in Yumi's social media class, we had a guest speaker every week, and a lot of them were journalism majors, but maybe 20% of them were actually journalists. A lot of them go into PR, a lot start working for tech apps and all this crap. So I think I think it's definitely going to be harder to find something that you're like successful at and like can keep consistency in. But I think it's going to be needed and it will resurge itself eventually. I hope.